Ahoy, all you scallywags, we're gonna all have scurvy soon. You may think that a vitamin C deficiency is something that we would never deal with because, well, we have modern technology and we have food from every walk of life in every corner of the earth. But it is something that people still deal with. We don't get into full-blown scurvy very often. That's pretty darn rare. But I figured, hey, let's take a look at the very early signs of vitamin C deficiency, because the very good news is that it is so quickly correctable. Like if you start popping vitamin C or you eat foods with vitamin C, you can course correct in literally hours. Okay, so if you start to notice the symptoms, maybe you add some in. Before we get into talking about your scurvy problems, check out Thrive Market down below in the description. They're an online membership-based grocery store. So whether it's supplements, whether it's foods, whether it's sustainable meat and seafood options, whether it's pantry staples, whatever you want, keto, fasting, vegan, paleo, they've got it all, and it's all sortable by diet type and different categories. So that link down below will save you 30% off your entire grocery order. Okay, so use that link, 30% off your entire grocery order, plus you get a free gift worth up to $50 whenever you use that link. Okay, so that link down below in the description after this video. Let's talk about the first one. Your joints feel weaker. Why would your joints feel weaker? I think we forget sometimes that vitamin C is critical for the formation of collagen. It's required for what's called prolyl hydroxylase, which is a compound that is required to form the collagen matrix. So to actually form the weaves of collagen that are the scaffolding for our joints, we need vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C is also required for what's called procollagen, which is like the blueprint for the scaffolding to be built. It's very, very critical. That's why you see like vitamin C serums and all this weird stuff on the market for the skin, because it's supposed to help collagen formation. I don't know if I buy into that, but the bottom line is that vitamin C, at least with what we have in stores, is very important for collagen. Now, there's a study published in the International Journal of Dermatology that looked at the extreme cases of scurvy. Okay, we're probably not dealing with scurvy here, but what they noticed with scurvy is that the most grandiose symptoms were significantly swollen joints and bruising. So these significantly swollen joints were probably a result of inflammation coming from the collagen wearing down and the joints having issues. Interestingly enough, with vitamin C intervention, 83% of the participants in the study ended up having full resolvement of their symptoms. So vitamin C can correct this issue quick. Now, it doesn't mean that if you just wake up one day with sore joints that you have a vitamin C deficiency, okay? It doesn't work that way. But if you stack up all the things that I'm going to talk about, then it might play a role. So if you do start to notice you have sore joints, it may not hurt to add like 500 to 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C for a couple of days and see if it improves. It's easy to fix. I usually recommend whole food form vitamin C. Okay, so whole food form that's not coming from just ascorbic acid form, that's coming from like acerola fruit or something like that. There's lots of ones out there, lots of different brands. You just want to look for, quote, whole food vitamin C, and you can find it all on Amazon and stuff like that. The next one is irritability and fatigue. Again, if you wake up one day and you're in a bad mood, it doesn't mean you have scurvy, okay? If you start to notice that, hey, okay, you're irritable and it becomes your like normal state of being along with like sore joints and stuff like that, it might be worth like a smidgen of money to have a vitamin C pill. So vitamin C is a cofactor for a number of different neurotransmitters. So we forget that it affects our mood because it is a cofactor with many things, such as dopamine beta hydroxylase, which is what converts dopamine into epinephrine. So dopamine is like your desire, your itch, your need. Epinephrine is sort of your action and your energy. So having dopamine without epinephrine is like having desire with no ability to execute in a very colloquial way. So this, of course, affects your mood, affects your energy, your anger, all of that. So there's a study that was published in Antioxidants Journal that found that simple vitamin C supplementation dramatically improved mood, it improved anger, it improved depression. Okay, so the reason behind this is simple. I mean, you're providing the catalyst for neurotransmitters to do their job properly. But then there was a study specifically looking at fatigue, okay, and it found that if subjects had 10 grams of vitamin C via IV versus a saline placebo, within 2 hours, their fatigue scores were markedly improved. The reason I mention this is because fatigue is common, but if you take in vitamin C and you notice your fatigue improves, that tells you right then and there, well, maybe I was temporarily deficient in vitamin C. People think this vitamin C deficiency thing is like this long-term thing. Like if you go without vitamin C for a couple of weeks, you're going to start to notice these symptoms. So if you start to notice symptoms and you pop a couple of vitamin C and you get better, you kind of have your answer. The next thing you might notice is a weakened recovery or a weakened immune system. Now, weakened immune system is a difficult thing to pinpoint because I can't just say, oh, you're getting sick more, because there's a number of different things that could be influencing that, like how many illnesses are going around, how hard your workouts are, things like that. So I also rope recovery in. If you feel like you're just getting sore and you're not recovering and you're getting sick a lot, it might make sense to look at how much vitamin C you're taking in. Okay, we have to remember that vitamin C does play a role in not just the immune system, but it forms collagen. Remember, collagen builds our mucous membranes, it builds our skin, it builds our lungs, it builds our gut, all which are our literal first line of defense against pathogens. So yes, that is the first line, but then after that, it helps with what's called engulfment in the immune system. So when there's a pathogen, it has to become engulfed, okay? And if it's not engulfed fully, the pathogen can get away. So vitamin C is required for that, and it's also required for neutrophils to neutralize the pathogenic threat. In addition to that, vitamin C is an antioxidant, which means it's scouring the body, looking for oxidative stressors that are stressing the body, weakening our immune system. So it's very, very important. There was a study that was published in Nutrients that demonstrated that 4 weeks of vitamin C supplementation led to increased vitamin C content within the immune cells, within the neutrophils. I could have pulled any study talking about observational data on vitamin C helping us get sick less, but that observational data doesn't interest me here. I'm curious, like, show me the facts that vitamin C is directly impacting our immune system at a cellular level. So if neutrophil vitamin C content is higher, that tells me the vitamin C I'm consuming is actually getting to the immune system so it can do its job and back up that observational data. So if you feel like you're extra run down, you feel like your mood is crud, and you feel like you have weak joints, again, it's worth vitamin C. So how do you kind of dose this? Because I have a couple more things we need to talk about as far as symptoms or signs, but maybe you want to start with like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That's like a gram in whole food form. And you usually, if you take it along with a fruit that contains vitamin C, you might have other cofactors that help you utilize that vitamin C better, okay? Now, there's some evidence that like a liposomal vitamin C might work better, but it's kind of confusing because the liposome in some ways protects the vitamin C, in some ways it doesn't. So I don't know if you're getting as much bang for the buck as you might think. It's kind of beneficial, but kind of not. My recommendation is take a whole food form of vitamin C that's in a capsule, get yourself up to like 1 or 2 grams, and take it along with a kiwi. In fact, the studies that I've kind of referenced, some of them have said taking vitamin C alongside fruit. It can potentially help because you're providing your additional layers that kind of help support the absorption of that. The next thing that you might notice is poor wound healing. Okay, there's a study published in the International Journal of Dentistry that did some tooth extraction. So you had a big gaping hole in your face, and then they had 600 milligrams of vitamin C, 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, or placebo. The higher the dose of vitamin C, after 7 days, the smaller the wound and the less pain. Okay, this has to do with obviously the collagen process, but also the inflammation and the proper inflammatory response that needs to happen with the immune system to let a wound heal. So all this adds up. Again, if you stack up all of these and you're having issues, it's an easy fix. The next one is very unique, and if you start noticing this, you might be further on down the line. Okay, if you're bruising really, really easily, if you're having like nosebleeds all the time, if your gums and teeth are hurting and bleeding a lot, then that's an issue as well. And again, it has to do with the collagen piece once more, because the gums do have a fair bit of collagen in them. Okay, we have to pay attention to this. If you are so weak and your sort of collagen matrix scaffolding is so weak that you're getting nosebleeds, your mucous membranes are messed up, your gums are bleeding all the time, this is an issue. And this is something like if you look back in the history books, that's kind of what happened with scurvy, is they'd get all weak, they'd get fatigued, they'd get sores that wouldn't heal, their teeth would bleed, their gums would bleed, their nose would bleed, they'd get swollen joints. Okay, that's how they ended up with peg legs, because they'd lose their legs, right? Probably something like that. The wounds just wouldn't heal and they'd get gangrene. So the bottom line is that vitamin C also builds these blood vessels. And if our blood vessels get weak because of weak vitamin C, then we end up with bruising. So then the blood vessels break and we end up with bruises all over. So it's such an easy fix. And even people that are doing like a carnivore diet and stuff like that, if they consume the proper organ meats and they get the marrow and things like that, you're gonna get vitamin C in. It doesn't have to come from a sweet fruit or a citrus fruit. Look at the food that you're eating. And fortified vitamin C is not always the same. Ascorbic acid might be good in the short term, but whole food vitamin C is really what we need. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.